Evening. Hello. Hi, everybody. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. We've got Ahmed's fan club over here. Right? Anyway, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Thomas Edison State University's Foundation inaugural Impact Awards event. I'm Nancy Glore. I'm the very proud chair of the Foundation's Board of Directors, and very, very happy to be here tonight at this wonderful event in this wonderful building. Here with me is my wonderful colleague and friend, Dee Kelly, who is also a Foundation Board member and the chair of our Impact Awards Committee.
Good evening, everyone. We are so excited to welcome you tonight in person and virtually, because that's what we do now, to everyone joining us live on the live stream. This event is the result of the evolution of our Grand Ball, an event that ran for 31 years strong. And this event is the culmination of the desire and vision to host a meaningful night of purpose and celebration while offering a more inclusive and accessible event for our loyal supporters and Thomas Edison alumni and students. It also gives us a rare opportunity to bring guests to our campus and welcome you to the university's newest facility, George A. Pruitt Hall. I want to thank the members of our event committee for all of their guidance and support as we transition to this new format. Take it away.
And while things may look and feel a bit different than in previous years, our mission is exactly the same. Your generosity tonight translates into Thomas Edison's ability to invest in new opportunities for the students we serve as we strive to offer the most relevant, flexible, and affordable programs available for adult learners. The Foundation has funded valuable initiatives such as the Doctor of Business Administration degree program, and tonight we have two people from there. I don't know where they are. Where are they? Oh, stand out. Much congratulations to you. I lost my place. The Student Peer Support Program, Critical Technology and Website Upgrades, and of course, Scholarship Support. And in addition to that, to the Doctor of Business Administration program, we're also now investigating the EDD program that Cynthia is looking into. You know, one of the things that the Foundation does that I'm not sure everybody is aware of is besides scholarship money, we also fund many, many important critical projects for the university for programs to be investigated, researched, areas that it's difficult to get funding in other ways for. And these have often, I think most often, led to really real programs with real graduates, and it's very satisfying to see the circle come about. We have an incredible slate of honorees this year. We have former Thomas Edison trustee chairman and foundation board member Frank Clyburn, who is CEO of International Flavors and Fragrances. And if you live in Monmouth County like I do, where it's located, we call that IFF. You have Jeannine Frisby LaRue, Senior Vice President of the Zita Group. And our fellow Foundation board member, the star, Ahmed Azmy. Yay! I'd also like to recognize and thank the current and past Thomas Edison trustees and Foundation board members who are here with us this evening. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Let's also welcome some very special dignitaries that are here. Hopefully I get everybody's name right. The former commissioner and assemblyman, Skip Cimino. I hope I said that right. Assemblyman Wayne DeAngelo. Councilwoman and City Council President Jeannine Frisby. and Mercer County Commissioner Samuel Frisby Sr. This family, by the way, is incredibly talented. And Teska told me the only reason she's there, she had to keep up with everybody else. But she did and surpassed.
We'd also like to take this opportunity, and please join me in welcoming our generous sponsors, NJM Insurance Group, Capital Health, IFF, ETS, PNC, PSEG. Okay, everyone applause for this one. Stark and Stark. The African American Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey. Bernie and Ann Flynn. Bernstein Global Wealth Management. And the Mercadian Group.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a very brief program, and after that, we invite you to visit our wine pool station. I've been there twice already. That's true, I have been. Sample all the wonderful food. If you haven't already, it's wonderful. Located throughout the building, and enjoy each other's company. For those of you at home, thank you for being with us and for your support of Thomas Edison. Thank you very much.
They wouldn't have to repeat it. Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Brian Maloney, and I'm a trustee of the university as well as a member of the foundation board. And I want to add my welcome and my thanks to have you all with us in this spectacular venue and for such an important event, properly named Impact. Our tradition has been to present the Spirit of Edison Award to a deserving individual who exemplifies the highest standards of excellence, innovation, and imagination in their careers, dedication to serving the public good, and who promotes empowering the lives of others through higher education. Our first honoree tonight does this and so much more. So therefore, I'm honored to present this year's Spirit of Edison Award to my friend and colleague, Mr. Frank Clyburn. All right. I'm going to play that all back for him later because unfortunately, Frank, his wife Jill, and his son Frankie couldn't be with us tonight because of another personal commitment. But we're still going to make sure that we tell you a bit about Frank, and we'll make sure he gets his wonderful award. So let me start with a little bit about the years that Frank and I worked together. So it was probably 8 years on the foundation board and a number of years on the trustee board. And I have to tell you, here's a guy who proved to be smart, dedicated, passionate, and really pushed on outcomes in education. One of the things Frank really prided himself on most was kind of buttonholing students and say, tell me a little bit about your experience. What was it like? What could we do better? Tell me how it's changed your life, and share that impact with me. And that was really great. And I got to tell you that unfortunately Frank had to leave our service because his business requirements and commitments got to be really onerous, I guess is one way to look at him. He'd say energizing, but I'd say onerous when you look at his schedule. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that, but we lost a great individual on our boards when Frank, because of other commitments, had to leave them, but he still stays very connected with us and helps us a lot. And I have to tell you, we were better off having him, and I'm better off because through those years I developed a great friendship with Frank. I mean, he's a close personal friend now. So let me tell you just a little bit about his background. And this is like a rocket. For those of you who've watched corporate careers, he started in 1987 at Marion Laboratories, and he earned leadership roles at Sanofi in the early 90s. And some of these companies kind of bought each other. So, he just kind of was climbing the whole time. 14 years at Merck, he became the president of their oncology division, then president of their human services division, executive vice president of the corporation. And then last year, he got the big opportunity that Nancy was talking about, International Fragrances, IFF. Where's Nancy? In your local neighborhood, they call them all of that. But this is quite a job. I mean, this is a Fortune 500 company, $12 billion at revenue, 24,000 employees across 44 countries. And that's why, you look at Frank's schedule, he's kind of making that round. No wonder he doesn't have a lot of time for everybody. But he's with us in spirit. As a CEO, Frank kind of understands the importance and the value of workforce development, so it's been a big push for him. Even when he was here, how all of that attention to workforce development through higher education actually makes accessible opportunities for adult learners, and that creates the workforce that we need. In addition, he's passionate about education. As I told you, he went out and he would catch all these students, just say, when are you going to complete? What's it doing for you? How is it impacting you? So really terrific. On a personal note, his son is going off to join the workforce. And Frank, I could just see him doing this too. He sits his son down and says, so I got some lessons for you. I want you to pay attention to them. And, it's the Frank Gospel according to Frank. Yes, Dad. Okay. Think about what excites you and what you're passionate about. Values are important, personally and in whatever organization you work for. Always aim high. Think about the community and see how you can make a difference in the community you live and work in, and then never stop learning. So I could go on and on about Frank for a long time, especially since he paid me a lot to say good things, but I won't. I'll just say he's been a tremendous value to us, and he continues that way. So now I have this interesting dilemma, though, because Frank couldn't be here, and when we said, all right, so Brian will present your award, and who's going to accept it? He says, we'll let Brian do that, too. So here you are, Frank. This is for you. Oh, thanks, Brian. Thanks for all the great things you said for me, too. We'll make sure he gets that. But with all the kidding aside, Frank, I asked him, what does this mean to you? He wanted all of you to know that he's humbled by and appreciative of this award. And the reason he is because he's so connected with Thomas Edison. He's so connected with education. He believes in our mission. He's still committed to it. And he said, he was stealing a line from me, which I talk about all the time. Thomas Edison changed people's lives for the better. And Frank says, what could be better than that? That's impact. That's what this is all about. So on behalf of Frank, thank you. And now if I can bring up my board colleague, Dan Brenna, and my friend, where is he? Oh, I can't see people in front of me, but Dan's going to present our next honoree.
Did I hand you the award?
You want to hand it to me?
No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for that wonderful presentation, Brian. That was really nice. Good evening. My name is Daniel Brenna. I'm on the foundation board, and I'm honored to be here to present this next award. So, to repeat, the Spirit of Edison Award is given to an individual who reflects the creativity, commitment to the public good, and pioneering genius of Thomas Alva Edison. This year, our honoree not only embodies these qualities, but has been living them day in, day out for her entire career. Thomas Edison has a very famous quote that most of us in this room know: genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. But my favorite Edison line is this, which I think applies here: what you are will show in what you do. So, Jeannine Frisby LaRue, let's take a look at what you've done. Mary Higley, thanks for putting this bullet point list together for me. If I read everything that this woman's done tonight, we'd be here all night. So I'm just going to do the greatest hits. Jeannine's career began as a high school English school teacher and professor at Penns Grove High and Glassboro State College, now Rowan University. These were communities where she fell in love with social justice and led her to being hired as a lobbyist for the New Jersey Education Association, the largest public school employee union in the state. Jeannine remained at the NJEA for a decade until being appointed to the Casino Control Commission by the late Governor Jim Florio. She used that statewide platform to shine a light on the need for job opportunities and community development for the residents of Atlantic City. In 1992, Jeannine founded the first ever statewide women's summit that attracted more than 550 women and men over a 3-day period, whose sole agenda was to address improving the lives of women in New Jersey. That event morphed into the Governor's Statewide Women's Conference, attracting almost 3,000 women and men, and existed for 20 years. Other career highlights include being a top executive at RWJ Barnabas Health, Deputy Chief of Staff for Governor John Corzine, and Senior VP of Public Affairs at Rutgers University. That's some resume. In 1979, Jeannine became the first woman, first minority, and the youngest person at that time elected to public office in Winslow Township. She remained elected on both the school board and township council for 12 years. She fought for a number of issues, including fair special education, gifted and talented programs for children, for the hiring of women in the police department, for the unionization of municipal employees, and for a better quality of life for residents. For the past 12 years, Jeannine has worked as a lobbyist with the Zita Group, the 4th largest lobbying firm in the state. She produces a very popular podcast called LaRue List Cafe, which live streams on several social media platforms. She serves on a number of charitable boards and chairs the Garden State Equality Fund, an LGBTQIA organization representing more than 100,000 people statewide. She has been recognized by more than 70 private and charitable organizations. And every year when the 100 most influential list comes out of people in New Jersey, you know who's on it? Jeannine LaRue. I have just one question. Jeannine, is there anything you haven't done? Last but certainly not least, Jeannine is the proud mother of 2 children, Sam and Renee, and the grandmother to 5. Jeannine, in my opinion, you are truly peerless. You have no equal. I mean, you're without equal. And you spent 5 decades dedicated to something bigger than yourself, which is public service. And do you know what that makes you? A hero. You're a hero. And for what it's worth, you're one of my heroes. So I want to thank you. We all want to thank you for your public service. And now get your ass up here and collect this award.
I love you.
I love you too. Here, you hold it. It's your award, not mine.
It's heavy. You take it. And this is being streamed somewhere, and he's trying to make me cry. I just don't believe Dan does this kind of thing. Thank you so much. I'm honored. To our president, thank you so very much, and to this foundation board, thank you so very much. I'm humbled. I'm truly humbled. You know, I started on this journey. I was in my 20s. I might have been almost 5 feet. I'm 4'9" now, so I lost, you know. I have learned along the way that podiums are overrated. I can't see over most of them, so I don't even bother to write speeches anymore. I just kind of do it in my mind. But it has been an amazing journey. And for the record, Dan and I looked at each other, and it's amazing. We were thinking the same thing at the same time. He said, "There's an amazing spirit in this room." I said, "Yeah." And I'm telling you, there is, from the time I walked into this place tonight, there has been, and I walk into a lot of places, there has been an amazing spirit in this room. So for the folks who put this together, just know that you did a hell of a job. Job well done. When I accept awards and they say, okay, you get 3 to 5 minutes and you think about what do you want to say, I try to make the point by just leaving a story in the middle of the room. And I thought about impact. You know, what's the story that I would leave in this room today for this award. And it's a story that probably, out of everything I've done over the last 50-some years, has probably made more of an impression on my personal life than anything else that I have done in public service. When Florio appointed me to the Casino Control Commission, I voted against gambling twice. He said, "That's good. You're the kind of person I want to appoint." I said, "I voted against this twice." He said, I want you to go down to Atlantic City, and I want you to use it as a platform for all of the things that you've wanted to do all of your life: economic development, workforce development, welfare reform, housing for the poor, all these things that you've been talking about when I was in the assembly, when I was a congressman, now I'm a governor. Go to Atlantic City and try it out. And so my first year of being a commissioner, I was invited to almost every commencement as a speaker. And this one 8th grade graduation, I'll never forget it. A young girl walks up to the podium. She had heels on about this high. I don't know how she ever walked up. You could tell they were new heels, and she couldn't really stand. You could tell her feet were killing her. And she got up to the podium, and she said, "My name is," and she said her name, and she said, "I want to," and then she started to cry, and she walked away. And she sat down. And I leaned over to the principal, and I said, "Should we go over and should we comfort her?" He said, "No, leave her alone." He said, "She's tough. She'll be back. She has a story to tell." So I'm thinking, how harsh. 8th grade, you just leave her alone. So she came back over to the principal, and she said, "I want to give my speech." He said, "Go on up there, give the speech. And we aren't going to be here all day." He knew her. And she goes to the podium, and she tells her story. She tells her story about her mom being a drug addict, her father being in Trenton State Prison, how her twin brother, and I'm a twin, and I have a twin brother. The twin brother and she had been separated, and he was in a boys' home. Her grandfather, who was her best friend, was in a senior citizens place. And the only reason she was standing there as an 8th grade graduate is because of the teachers and the principal and the guidance counselors in that school. And I was so touched, because we want to make an impact. And sometimes we think we know what people need and what they want. So I'm thinking she needs me as a mentor. And so I said to her at the end of the speech, "Can I be your mentor?" She said, "What's that?" I started explaining what a mentor was. I brought her down to my home. I taught her how to plant flowers in a garden. I took her to places where taught her how to get her nails done. I did all these things that I thought she needed at that moment. And as 2 years went by, she got involved in drugs. And the high school was calling me in, and they said, "You got to talk to this girl." And I'd come in, and I'd take her out for pizza, and I'm like, "You got to do better." And one day I walked in, and she looked at me, and she said, "You ain't my mom, and I don't have to do anything you tell me to do." And I was devastated, because I had spent all this money on her and all this time, and I was her mentor, and I'm a commissioner, because I thought it was all about me. And she said, "You ain't my mom, and you can't come into this school and tell me what to do." So I walked out with my tail between my legs, and I was mad. A year later, I came into my office, and my assistant was standing there, and she had tears in her eyes. She had a newspaper article. And she said, "This is about your mentee. There's a funeral today for her twin brother. He was drowned when they went camping with this boys' home." And said, "The church, it starts at 11 o'clock. Are you going to go?" And I said, "Why didn't she call me?" She said, "Well, she's probably angry, but she didn't call you." I went over to the church, and she was sitting on the step, and it was packed. All teachers, police, everybody was there. And she's sitting on the step, and she looked at me, and she said, "Nobody came." And I said, "But the church is packed." She said, "My mom didn't come." I said, "I will find her." Now, I didn't know how I was going to find this woman. I didn't even know her name. But it was something to say. It sounded good at the minute. And I had a person from the city of Atlantic City. I said, "Do you know her mom?" She said, "Yes." we actually found the street where the mom was staying. And we could hear moaning from an open window. And there was a woman saying, no, 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 I'm nothing. I'm nothing. I can't go. And there's a man saying, get your clothes on. You gotta go. And I said, that's her. And I went into this woman's room. She had just gotten a cute little yellow outfit dry cleaned. And I said, you're coming with me. My name is Commissioner LaRue. I am your daughter's mentor. She's sitting on the step of the church. It is packed, and she feels that nobody came. And we got her dressed. We stood her up, and she looked at me and she said, I ain't got no shoes. And the only thing she had was a pair of raggedy sneakers. I looked at the lady from the city of Atlantic City. I said, what size shoe do you wear? She looked at me, she said, Commissioner, the sidewalks are hot. I said, what size shoe do you wear? She said, 7.5. I said, what do you wear? She said, 7.5. I said, could you? She took her feet out of her shoes. The mom put her feet into these shoes. I put her in my car, and I drove her to the funeral. And when we drove up to that church, and the woman got out of the car, and her daughter came up to me and she said, you found her. And I said, she's hurt, she's embarrassed, she's scared, she thinks your whole family hates her. Go up to her and tell her you love her. And she walked up to her mom and she said, Mom, she said, I love those shoes. She said, I really love those shoes. And she said, they're sharp, ain't they? And we could see, I stood in the back of the church and I could see pew by pew when this young woman and her mom had hit those pews in the church because people's mouths were open, folks were crying. They opened that casket so that this mom and that twin sister could in that moment do something that was great, that would be lasting. Folks, that's what impact is all about. It's not what we think people need, but it's showing up at the right time, at the right moment, giving them what they really need and what they want. I thank you for this honor. I will remember this for a lifetime. Thank you very much.
I hate following Jeannine. So I have my remarks, and I might change them up a little bit now, but I do want to say good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Meredith Hancock, the president of Thomas Edison State University. And thank you, Jeannine, for your inspiring words, and just for being you, the champion of everyone. There's a song I listen to when I work out. I'm a Sly and the Family Stone fan, so I don't know if there's any other funk people here. But everyday people, and whenever I hear that, it strikes me as Jeannine's song. So if you go back and you listen to it, she's just a champion of everyone. And that always, whenever I hear that song, it comes to me, and I've kind of renamed it in my head. This is Jeannine's song. So thank you for your spirit, your optimism, your belief in inclusivity and empowerment, and the idea that you never let anything beat it out of you. You always are right there. So thank you for that. Keep doing what you do, and the rest of us will try and get somewhat close in your footsteps. I'm thrilled to welcome you everyone to Thomas Edison and our beautiful Pruitt Hall, home of our widely recognized W. Carey School of Nursing and Health Professions. I do also want to thank the development team, our foundation board, and our planning committee for continuing to keep this celebration kind of fresh and exciting. Tonight's a new approach to a 30-year-old tradition of honoring and celebrating those who represent the very best of what Thomas Edison has to offer, all while also raising money, don't forget the wine poll, to support the amazing work Thomas Edison does to empower our most impressive student body through academic achievement. We could not do this without your support, From leading-edge technology, 24/7 student services, state-of-the-art academic programming, and a vastly enhanced financial aid portfolio, your investment helps our students take a university education from dream to reality. We're on a mission to get the word out about Thomas Edison, and at this year's commencement, Senator Troy Singleton helped us do just that. So I'm going to co-opt my remarks to him a little bit and share a very brief video from his remarks.
My plea to you and to each of you is to go be great. Not just for yourself, not just for your families, but for all of us. And thanks to this institution and everything that you have inside you, you are equipped to go be great.
That video, and actually kind of any video from our commencements, always makes me smile. So now I want to turn over to somebody else who also always makes me smile. Every once in a while, you meet someone who just leaves their mark, a quiet leader who's always there to offer kindness, guidance, and wisdom. I was fortunate enough to meet such a man shortly after I joined Thomas Edison. For anyone who knows him, you are aware that these qualities are just the tip of the iceberg for Dr. Ahmed Azmy. Ahmed's family, including nieces, nephews, and friends from all over the world, are here with us tonight, and many more are joining on our live stream from Egypt and Canada. Assalamu alaikum to all of you. I've been practicing that. See, we presidents have to take our little wins and make sure people know when to give us positive feedback. Dr. Azmy joined the Thomas Edison Foundation Board in 2004 and has served on the Gala, now Impact Awards committee since 2006. His career spans an illustrious 40 years, and his work is world-renowned. Known as a master planner, he has designed projects ranging from cultural centers, corporate headquarters, community spaces, and award-winning Middle East urban plans for various development projects. Dr. Azmy was instrumental in the global growth and recognition, and I got to put my glasses on, of CUH2A, a leading architectural and engineering firm here in New Jersey. He also served as an urban design consultant for the United Nations. Following this time with the UN, he founded HACBM with former CUH2A partners Dick and Peggy Hoisington. And in 2006, he established Azmy Architects. Vowing never to retire, he helped rebuild commercial and residential properties. And those of you who know him, when we say never retire, he means it. So he's rebuilding residential and commercial properties post-Hurricane Sandy and continues to make a meaningful impact today. While his successful career will always represent his vision and passion for designing elegant works of structural art, tonight we recognize him for something else: his belief in, his role modeling of, and his passion for education. He doesn't just espouse lifelong learning, he practices it. Dr. Azmy received his BS in architecture from Ain Shams University in Cairo. Top of his class, he was offered an academic scholarship to do graduate work in the United States, where he met a fellow graduate student who had changed his life. As he and his family know, Dr. Azmy's success could not have happened without the love and support that Nadia, his wife of over 60 years, gave to him and his family. With her at his side, he went on to earn his master's in both architecture and city planning from the University of Pennsylvania, a Master of Fine Arts from Princeton University, and his PhD in architecture, also from Princeton. I just wish you'd step it up a bit. Soon after completing his degree, Dr. Azmy returned to Egypt for a brief time to give back for the support for his advanced education. He served as a professor in the architectural department at Ain Shams University and was also appointed professor and dean of the School of Architecture at Tripoli University. Ahmed, I'm not sure there's a way you have not shown your commitment to higher ed. But there's more to your story. In addition to his long-standing support of Thomas Edison, Dr. Azmy has served over 20 years with the Rotary Club of Princeton, including a time as district governor, on the board of the Islamic Society of Essex County, on the board of Friends of Harrington Woods, and not surprisingly, provided pro bono work for numerous other nonprofit organizations. For fun, he cherishes squash, water views, family, and travel, and I'm told has finally grown to love football thanks to his determined grandson. But tonight we are here to honor Dr. Ahmed Azmy, our family member, the man who so strongly believes education is the one thing no one can take from you, the man who always shows up, is eager to help, empowers others to better their lives, and who does so with one very big heart. Not only has he been a board member for 20 years, he has consistently provided philanthropic support throughout his tenure. His generosity has touched the lives of so many of our students. It is indeed an immeasurable legacy that will transcend generations. We have only given 13 Spirit of Edison Family Awards in the 30-year history of this event. Ahmed and his wife Nadia are woven into the fabric of this university, and they are indeed our family. Dr. Azmy, on behalf of the entire Thomas Edison community, please come forward and accept your award. These are heavy.
Thank you. This is very hard to follow, the wonderful speakers before me. I find if you do it this way, it's better. I tried to shorten it. It was 15 pages, but now. Well, good evening. I'm deeply honored and humbled to be the recipient of the 2023 Spirit of Edison Impact Award with my fellow recipients. I am so excited as if I won the Nobel Prize. But this award means a lot more for me. Thank you, Thomas Edison State University, for this great honor. Impact, I'm not going to beat you on that. I know what impact is. I think it's a two-way street. It's an action and a reaction. It's giving and getting back. In my life, I believe in three simple principles. First, you may dislike something and it's good for you. And you may like something and it's not good for you. Have faith that God knows what's the best for you. The second, if you encounter failure despite your hard work and efforts, don't get discouraged. This will help you learn a different path to achieve your goals. And the third, I believe that life is beautiful and you should make the best of every day because you never know what is stored for tomorrow. Thank you. My childhood had challenges and a lot of joy. I was born in Egypt in 1936. God, 78 years. The oldest of 5 boys and my youngest sister, who flew here from Cairo just for this occasion. Thank you, Nagwa. I guess my parents wanted a girl. If she didn't came, probably I have another 6 brothers or something. My father was an architect, and who inspired me, my interest in architecture. By the senior year in high school, I was designing apartment buildings. Some of them still stay up to date. Father died young at 48 in the summer of my first year in college. I worked nights at an architectural firm to support my family. The impact of my father's mentoring made me sail through the School of Architecture. I was the first of my class every year, and I graduated in 58 with distinction. And my class, after the class, I joined the Faculty of Teaching in Ain Shams University. I was offered a scholarship from the American Friends of the Middle East to pursue a PhD architecture in US. I landed in Philadelphia in December of '59, first time to see snow, first time to be in a plane, and I was hosted by an American family who I shared the joy of the first Christmas with them. During my first semester at Penn, I attended a party in the YMCA, where I met a cute girl from Egypt who spoke Arabic, which was a great thing because my English was not at all good. And it was love at first sight. 1 year after, I asked Nadia if she would marry me. To my surprise, she said yes. Nadia was studying English literature and was a perfect match for me. She raised our 2 kids, typed and corrected the English on my dissertation, and shared our love for arts, opera, service, and travel. We just celebrated last September our 61st anniversary. Thank you, my dear Nadia, for your incredible devotion and support. Of course, I am blessed to have my wonderful family around who impacted my life. My favorite and only daughter, Nahla, along with my son-in-law, Jeff, my grandson, Trevor, and my granddaughters, Rania and Leila. We are proud of my favorite and only son, Baher, who is making his impact for human rights globally. After I graduated from University of Penn with an MA in architecture and an MA in city planning in '62, I was accepted to the PhD program in Princeton. Princeton was a heaven compared to Pennsylvania at the time. I met my mentor, Professor Labatou. Actually, Professor Labatou was French, came on the balloon all the way from France to, in 1933, he was an amazing professor, and he impacted me greatly in my education. After graduating, I worked with CUHA, architectural engineering firm, for 2 years. However, after being here for 8 years, I felt I need to return home in 1968 to fulfill my commitment to my country since they supported my advanced education. I started teaching architecture design for 3 years at Ain Shams University, and I had a small architectural firm. You cannot survive on the salary of a professor in Egypt. When the chairman asked me to travel to Tripoli, I jumped on the chance. Days later, they had needed 2 professors, so I got a job in the Department of Architecture in Tripoli University for 3 years. And then the family, Nadia didn't like Libya. She said, let's go back home. So we migrated to the United States in '74, and we settled back in Princeton. Throughout my 50 years of work in the United States, I tried to live by my principles. For example, because of my work in the Middle East, I had made connection with people in oil-rich Saudi Arabia. When I looked like my first firm, CUH, became added another partner, was going to lay me off because of the bad economy. The gas prices were up, you remember, after the '76 war or whatever, and Saudi Arabia became very rich. And I managed to friend a prince. I secured a $3 million contract to design the Olympic cycle racing complex in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It was never built. CUHA made me a partner, and we became CUH2A. I am the second one. Well, we grew from 15 to 350, and became the largest firm in New Jersey. Something that seemed bad always turns to something good. I also believe that personal relationship matters in your professional life. In 1986, when I left CUHA, an old classmate from Penn called me out and asked me to come and serve as the senior urban designer for the master plan for Mecca, Saudi Arabia. This was the most fulfilling year of work in my life. The UN experts that reviewed our project and befriended me later hired me to become a UN expert for 2 years. I also know that dedication and hard work matter more than wealth and size. In 1989, I entered a competition against 10 international firms for the mega project on Dubai. I worked around the clock and recruited many friends who helped me in the evenings pro bono. I didn't sleep for the last 2 nights and submitted the drawings and model in time. 1 month later, one-man firm won the first prize against HOK, which they have 3,000 person firm. I had to open an office in Dubai with 8 staff members, including my brother, Samir. We had great time together and had completed the project successfully in 1 year. In 1990, we agreed with Hoisington Engineers to form an architectural engineering firm named HACBM, which lasted for 20 years. But in 2006, I decided to establish Azmy Architects, LLC, sharing an office with HACBM, until COVID struck, when I moved my business home on the lovely Honey Lake in Pinnacle. I should have done that 10 years ago. Again, things that seem bad can always turn good. I'm still a one-man firm. I don't need to work. I work because I love what I do. I enjoy serving many different clients. Nothing beats the feeling of seeing a satisfied client. After 58 years of practice, I don't think I'm planning to retire anytime soon. Finally, I believe in making an impact by serving my community. I'm on the board of Friends of Herringtown Woods to preserve nature, and the Islamic Society of Essex County to serve the Newark community. Eric Lear introduced me to the Rotary Club of Princeton over 23 years ago, where our motto is service above self. I enjoy Rotary, and I will be always a Rotarian. It was through Rotary that I met my dear friend, the late Nick Carnival, who invited me to join Thomas Edison Estate Foundation Board 20 years ago. I am privileged to serve on the board and participate with my fellow board members to support actions to advance this wonderful university's program. Adult education degrees have benefited thousands of parents and grandparents. I was pleased to see the institution transformed from Thomas Edison State College to Thomas Edison State University. Thanks to the remarkable Board of Trustees and the leadership of Dr. Meredith Hancock, who is continuing to advance the mission. And most of all, thanks to my fellow foundation board members and to the wonderful staff that I have enjoyed to serve with. Thank you again, Thomas Edison State University, for this great impact honor. I would like to extend my gratitude to all my family, friends, clients, attendees who gave me a great pleasure showing up today, or donated to support the institution's mission. God bless all of you. God bless America, land that I love. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ahmed. I do have one last order of business. Ahmed and Nadia, will you please come up and join me? There's a trusting soul right here. Steps right up.
I've been through it all.
Well, now I feel a challenge. Oh, be careful on the steps. We have a surprise for Nadia. You can't read ahead. We have a surprise for Ahmed and Nadia this evening. In recognition of your mutual dedicated service to Thomas Edison State University and the Foundation, and for your decades of philanthropic support, I'm thrilled to share that the Great Hall, located in our main building just down the street, is being renamed the Dr. Ahmed and Nadia Azmy Great Hall.
Thank you.
I don't know. I don't. We will have a formal celebration in the spring, but there is a rendering. I don't know. You can see your names in bronze to match the other lettering in the Great Hall. Did we spell? Yeah.
Oh, good.
We spelled it right. So thank you, Ahmed and Nadia, for all you do and for sharing your wonderful family and especially your pride and joy, your lovely grandchildren, Trevor the football advocate, Rania, and Lila by live stream. The family name will forever be a part of Thomas Edison.
Oh, that's the most important. That's actually the most important honor to me. Thank you, Thomas Edison.
Congratulations to Jeannine, Ahmed. Thank you all for your support and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.